Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign, Richard Goodstein. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Richard, you used to work for Hillary Clinton. Is she a good loser? Why is she blaming Jim Comey for her loss?
You know, it's funny, Judge. Hillary Clinton got 1.5 million more votes. Donald Trump got a smaller percentage of the vote than Mitt Romney.
Look,
no.
He won.
I'm just saying,
she didn't. It's a democratic process. The question is, why is she being a sore loser?
Well, she won the popular vote, right? So you'll concede that more people voted for her. You'll concede that every sentence...
Do you concede that the Constitution dictates who the winner is in a presidential election, and that it is determined by the Electoral College?
Absolutely, but every sentence that Donald Trump says
we
that
don't have that much time, Richard.
Oh, no, listen, but every time he says the voters elected me to do X, that's untrue.
Is her blaming Jim Comey for the loss the sign of a sore loser?
I think Kellyanne Conway would tell you exactly what Hillary Clinton said. Kellyanne was on TV 5:30 p.m. on Election Day. No, of course Comey's responsible. Look, were there other things in the campaign?
So then she's not a sore loser is the answer to the question.
I'm saying that but for Jim Comey doing what he did, she wins.
Okay.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that, even in the Trump campaign.
Okay, good. David.
Judge, a line that Hillary Clinton will know well is our long national nightmare is over. And whether it's that we don't have to deal with the Hillary Clinton campaign or a Hillary Clinton presidency, or as President-elect Trump said tonight, he doesn't want to hurt the Clintons and isn't sure whether charges should be brought against her or whether they will be pursued. It is time to go about the business of the American people.
And you know, I have to tell you, David, I was very impressed with that.
Let's start.
He just said, I want to work. But listen, guys, I want you to listen to this sound. It has to do with social media and spending money.
I think it helped me win all of these races where they're spending much more money than I spent. You know, I spent my money, a lot of my money, and I won. I think that social media has more power than the money they spent, and I think maybe to a certain extent I proved that.
All right, guys, that was on 60 Minutes tonight. Donald and his family had a immediate family, 18 million Facebook followers, Twitter 19.5, Instagram 6. And is that the sign of a new way of campaigning, David?
Yes, and Donald Trump is going to need it. If you watch that 60 Minutes interview tonight, it is very clear that every media interview that Donald Trump goes on, he is going to be condescended to by the reporters because they can't stand him. And it is very clear. Not only did we see it in the campaign, but we saw it tonight on CBS with Leslie Stahl's interview. It's going to continue. And what Donald Trump said is look, I'm going to find other ways to communicate directly to the American people. And it worked.
All right, Richard, is this a new way of campaigning? And because clearly the pollsters got it all wrong.
Yeah. So look, he got $2 billion of free airtime, having nothing to do with social media. Free airtime by all estimates, right? More than anybody else got. So you can't really discount that. He didn't have to pay a cent for it. Good for him. Well, okay, really, that was very clever on his part.
Being called a racist and being called
well, you know what?
Every name in the book against him is free airtime, Richard.
David, by having a white nationalist as your chief strategist, you're not exactly separating yourself from the charge of racism and anti-Semitism. You're feeding right into that.
Richard, last time I checked, the president makes decisions and staff executes what the president what makes his decisions to do. The decisions that are going to get made in the White House are by the president. And he made the decision
to have a white nationalist at his side. Look,
Richard, I have to tell you something. You know, we have a president-elect who was asked whether he wanted a special prosecutor for Hillary Clinton. And his answer was, I have important things to do, jobs and the economy. He's showing class. He's showing class and talking about Hillary Clinton immediately when he was elected. He's showing class by calling the president a good man. I think the rest of the Democrats ought to follow the way this man is conducting himself. And,
yeah.
you know, I have to tell you, it doesn't bode well for you. It really doesn't.
Judge, wait.
Listen, David, hold on. David, listen. That question, David, that was directed to me. David,
let Richard answer it because I put it to him. Richard.
You cannot deny, Judge, I'm Jewish. White nationalists think Jews and blacks and Hispanics are second-class citizens.
Who are
subhuman.
You talking about?
Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is his chief strategist.
Donald-
Look, we're talking about the President of the United States and his interview on 60 Minutes. The fact that you don't want to say anything nice about him and you got to go left or right is not what we're talking about. David, go ahead.
Judge, tonight, Donald Trump, which we still have not heard from Hillary Clinton or President Obama, said folks should not be out rioting. And even his supporters, if they are doing something against other Americans, they should stop. He looked directly into the camera and said they should stop. If that's not an indication
Amen.
as to the
That
type
was
of
good.
administration he's going to
Richard,
run,
don't you agree?
I don't know what
Shouldn't
is.
the President and Hillary come out and say enough
Enough of what? Look,
of these
Judge,
protests?
Judge,
Look, protesting is
they're
fine.
not directing the protests. The fact is, I understand it's probably hard. Imagine how you would have felt,
No,
and David,
I didn't
had
care
Trump lost.
when a Democrat got elected or a Republican. Look, that's the people have spoken. That's the system.
Of course, but again, when your side gets more votes and ends up on the short end of the stick, there's something about it that doesn't feel
You know
quite
what?
right.
Follow
That's all
the
you're hearing.
Constitution. Follow the
I agree.
Constitution.